Last week, Alisa Childers posted a video titled 5 Alternative Facts About Christmas You Probably Always Believe That Aren't True. I don't have any problems with the facts that she presented in her video. However, she left out a few of the details, and I just wanted to present you with the rest of the story. So here we go. Let's take a look at these. The first one was Jesus born on December 25th, 81.
Matthew 2:1 tells us that Jesus was born during the reign of Herod the Great. History tells us that Herod died in 4 BC, so Jesus would have been at least 4 years old by AD 1.
Now this is true. Matthew does tell us that Jesus was born during the reign of Herod the Great. However, according to Luke 2:2, Jesus was born during the census of Quirinius, who didn't become governor of Syria until after the banishment of Archelaus in 6 AD. Thus, Matthew and Luke disagree on what year Jesus was born by a decade. Number 2, is Christmas a pagan holiday?
Let's put this one to rest. Christmas was never a pagan holiday. But in the Roman Empire, there were certain pagan winter ceremonies, such as the Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, which might have been celebrated on December 25th, by the way, and Saturnalia, a week-long festival that culminated around the same date.
You know, she's right here. I don't see any connection between Christmas and some random pagan holidays celebrated in late December by decorating their houses with trees and lights and giving presents to kids. I mean, if pagans started celebrating Saturnalia by placing figures of a family huddled around a manger in their front yard, would you accuse them of ripping off Christmas? Next, we three kings.
Matthew 2:1 tells us of wise men from the east who followed the star to see the boy Jesus.
The star led them to Jerusalem, where they stopped to ask for directions to Bethlehem. It reappeared while they were there and guided them to the exact house where Jesus was? Well, not according to Luke, who tells us in chapter 2 that after the time of purification, the family went to the temple and then returned to Nazareth. Hence, the wise men may have been in Bethlehem, but they would have missed Jesus by over a year. Is the virgin birth a retelling of ancient mythology?
Consider the 3 most common examples: Buddha, Horus, and Mithras. None of the earliest and most reliable sources indicate that these figures were born of a virgin.
True. However, consider the writings of Paul, James, and Mark. These are the earliest sources on Jesus, and none of them mention a virgin birth either.
Let's look at Horus. He was an Egyptian deity whose parents were Osiris and Isis.
Again, true, but I'm not sure why she chose to point out here that the concept of a trinity is stolen from ancient Egyptian mythology, so I'll just concede her point. Next, was Jesus born in a barn?
Luke chapter 2 mentions a couple of important details. One, that he was laid in a manger, which was a type of feeding trough for animals, and also that there was no room at the inn.
We're finally jumping over to the Luke story here. And of course, there is no stable nor inn in Matthew either, since the family lived in Bethlehem in that account, so Jesus was most likely born in their house. I love Elisa's use of the phrase alternative facts here, because that is exactly what we have. The same story, told with 2 alternative sets of facts. Matthew has the family living in Bethlehem, fleeing to Egypt, then moving to Nazareth. Luke has the family traveling to Bethlehem for a census, then immediately returning to Nazareth. If we view these as Greco-Roman biographies, none of this is a problem. Matthew and Luke agreed that Jesus was born in Bethlehem and raised in Nazareth, and they simply used fictitious plot devices to show how this might have happened. If, however, we view their writings as the breathed-out Word of God, we can see why there are so many inaccurate beliefs surrounding this holiday. It is the result of confused Christians trying to weave 2 contradictory stories into one consistent narrative.